I've probably been dyeing my hair red for about 6 years now, and I've been using henna hair dye, which really only shows up in the sun, which is why I'm standing in this god-awful lighting. And maybe you can tell, or maybe you can't, but my hair has grown out a significant amount, so the top, the roots, they're just kind of like a golden color and not red. Well, and my heater just kicked on, but anyways, it's about time to dye my hair. These pre-packaged henna packets are pretty darn easy to use. I tried once to use the kind where you gotta let the dye activate and you warm it up and all this other stuff. Didn't work so well. This, however, this is my favorite brand that I've tried so far out of the 3 brands that I've tried. It's called Henna Guys hair henna, and it's super duper easy. You just pour out the little powdery bits that kind of smell like hay into a bowl, and then you add some water, and then you mix it up with a chopstick. And then you just keep doing that, mixing and adding water, and mixing and adding water until you get a real chunky pudding-like consistency. I'm no pudding connoisseur, but is pudding ever chunky? Or should it be? It probably shouldn't be. I don't think I've ever seen chunky pudding, but you get the point. Once you've got chunky pudding that smells a bit like hay, then you gotta put on some gloves because this stuff stains absolutely everything in less than 3 seconds tops. So gloves on, pudding made, I am now beginning the ridiculously long process of trying to dye my own hair, which is pretty long at this point. All that entails is just sectioning off my hair into a bunch of little clumps and then putting clumps of pudding in my hair. Oh yeah, super important preparation step is to have towels, paper towels, or rags handy, so when this happens, you don't go into a panic, because this stains immediately. My face was orange. But with that out of the way, yeah, just get right into dyeing your hair and plopping more mud on your head. I swear this happens every single time. I might need a tripod. Where was I? Oh yeah, the super long and boring process of putting mud in your hair. Now, I thought maybe I speed this up every time I say the word hair. Kind of like that video where somebody recorded over the bee movie and then they sped it up every time they said the word bee. Does anyone else remember that? But I also don't feel like narrating this long enough to where I'd say the word hair enough to where this would actually work. So instead I'm just gonna speed it up sporadically. And with the magical powers of time travel, my entire head of hair will be dyed in a total of like 4 minutes instead of, 2 hours and 4 minutes. Oh, look at that, we're done. Now that all 2 pounds of mud are in my hair, I'm just gonna wrap it up in a nice little bun on top of my head and try to put a shower cap on it, but that's not gonna work. The shower cap is very small. This shower cap might fit an average bun, but I have no average bun. I have quite a large bun, so instead I'm just gonna look like a Walmartian and put a grocery bag on my head. That being said, I would not recommend you dye your hair if you plan on going anywhere, because this grocery bag has to sit on top of your head for 4 to 6 hours. But by all means, if you enjoy looking like an alien with a very pointy head, you could put just a beanie on top and not have a grocery bag look. But instead, yeah, you would look like that Indiana Jones movie where their heads were shaped very elongated. Aliens. They were aliens. Did I say aliens before? But I wasn't in the mood for dressing up like an alien and going to the store, so I planned some other stuff around the house. I did some tea tasting, and then I decided to make a mouse pad. No, I don't know why all of a sudden I'm talking with a weird accent, but I am. So I needed a mouse pad for my desk at work, and instead of buying one, I decided to make one with this foam that we had laying around. So I measured and cut this up just based on a template, I guess, that I made while I was at work to make sure that it would fit on my desk right. Am I the only one who hoards scrap fabrics? Like you have a dress with a hole in it and you know it's too cheap a dress to fix, but you also know that nobody's ever going to wear it, so you just keep it in the event of maybe using it for some random craft someday. All in all, the construction of this mouse pad was fairly simple, but I overcomplicated things by picking the wrinkliest fabric in existence, this dress here, and I had to go find an iron, remember how to use an iron, realize that the only glue I had was hot glue, nothing convenient like spray glue around here, and patiently wait for that to heat up before gluing together each side like a little Christmas present. But no matter, each time I had to wait for something to heat up or work, it just killed more time while I was waiting the 4 to 6 hours for the hair dye to take effect. And in the end, I ended up with a semi-decent, semi-lumpy, squishy mouse pad. So, success. Yeah, here it is, in my little hamster mouse. Isn't he cute? I think I named him Tiger. I don't remember his name. Arts and crafts aside, I did have to finish rinsing the mud out of my hair before I stained everything in my entire house. This was actually the first time I ever washed out henna in the sink, and it turned out really well. Even 4 to 6 hours after applying it, this stuff still stains everything, including skin, so washing my hair in the sink meant I didn't dye my entire body orange. And balancing over the sink like this, you get to practice a lot of really fun like yoga poses and stances because it's super duper comfortable. So just rinse until the sink doesn't look like that or that. Once it runs mostly clear, you're good to go to dry off your hair in a towel you absolutely don't care about. I had kind of forgotten to film the after until a solid month after doing it, but that really just shows how well this dye works. So this is a month later. So I guess my final thoughts, Henna Guys is an awesome brand. It gives such vibrant, bright colors, even over dark colored hair. And it's super easy to use as long as you have a little bit of patience and don't touch everything staining stuff red.